Today, I want to talk to you about a powerful mind. Sit act as if nothing affects you. Now, I don't mean you should become cold, emotionless, or pretend problems don't exist. Life will always test us through failures, criticisms, heartbreak, and disappointment. But how we respond makes all the difference. When you act as if nothing affects you, you project control, strength, and confidence, even when chaos surrounds you. This isn't about denial, it's about discipline. It's about choosing to rise above emotions that don't serve you. It's about staying centered in your goals no matter what the world throws at you. Acting as if nothing affects you trains your mind to lead, not follow, to decide your mood, not let it be decided for you. It means standing tall when others expect you to crumble. It means staying calm when everything else is loud. Let's face it, people will talk, life will hit hard, but you decide what deserves your energy. Learn to let go, learn to detach, learn to keep walking with your head high, because in a world that reacts to everything, your power is in being unshakable. 1. Control your emotions. Don't let them control you. One of the greatest challenges in life is managing our emotions, not suppressing them, but mastering them. Emotions are natural. We all feel anger, sadness, frustration, fear, and doubt. But problems arise when these emotions take the driver's seat, when we allow them to make our decisions, shape our behavior, and define our identity. When that happens, we lose control, not just of ourselves, but of the outcomes we truly desire. Think of emotions like weather. Storms will come, winds will blow, the sky may darken, but you are not the storm. You are the sky. The storm passes, you remain. People who allow emotions to dictate their lives often live in a cycle of regret and reaction. One moment of anger can destroy a relationship. One poor decision made in fear can cost a major opportunity. When you're ruled by emotions, you become a pup. It's easily manipulated by situations, words, or other people. But when you act as if nothing affects you, what you're really doing is exercising emotional discipline. You're choosing not to give every feeling the right to guide your next step. You're pausing before you speak. You're breathing before you act. You're observing the storm instead of becoming it. This doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't feed every feeling. Consider great leaders, high performers, or people you admire. One thing they often have in common is their ability to stay calm under pressure. They don't explode when criticized. They don't spiral when plans fall apart. They remain composed, focused, and measured. That's not by accident. It's a skill, a learned, practiced, and intentionally cultivated skill. Controlling your emotions gives you clarity. It lets you see situations objectively. It allows you to act from wisdom rather than impulse. In relationships, it prevents unnecessary conflicts. In business, it protects your long-term vision. In life, it makes you reliable, trustworthy, and powerful. So how do you build this control? Start by being aware. Notice when your mood shifts and ask yourself why. Journal your triggers, practice mindfulness, learn to pause, and most importantly, accept that just because you feel something doesn't mean you need to act on it. Remember, your emotions are messengers, not masters. Listen to them, learn from them, but don't let them lead your life too. Master the art of detachment in a world full of noise, pressure, and constant stimulation. One of the most liberating and empowering things you can learn is the art of detachment. Detachment isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's not about caring less, it's about caring wisely. It's about knowing what to hold on to and what to release. It's about understanding that your peace of mind is more valuable than any temporary emotion or passing situation. So many people suffer not because of what happens to them, but because they cling to what they can't control. They obsess over opinions, replay past mistakes, worry about outcomes, or hold on to toxic relationships out of fear. This attachment drains their energy, clouds their judgment, and creates unnecessary suffering. To master detachment is to master freedom. Imagine a bird perched on a tree. The bird doesn't fear the branch breaking, not because it trusts the branch, but because it trusts its wings. That's detachment. It's inner security. It's the confidence that you will be okay, no matter what changes around you, because life will change. People will come and go. Plans will fail. Expectations will be unmet. But when you are detached, you remain unshaken, not because you don't feel anything, but because you're anchored in something deeper than outcomes. Detachment allows you to engage fully without being consumed. You can love people deeply without being dependent on their validation. You can pursue goals passionately without being destroyed by setbacks. You can experience life intensely and still remain centered. It's not about being numb, it's about having boundaries. When you're too attached, you react emotionally to every little thing. A small criticism feels like a personal attack. A delay feels like the end of the world. A change in someone's behavior feels like a rejection. But when you're detached, you gain clarity. You don't internalize everything. You don't overthink or overanalyze. You begin to let things flow in and out of your life naturally, trusting that whatever is meant for you will stay, and whatever isn't will fall away. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means presence without possession. It's choosing to observe without obsessing, to let go without bitterness, and to keep moving forward without carrying unnecessary weight. And here's the truth: you can't fully grow if you're chained to everything. You can't rise if you're dragging emotional baggage behind you. Detachment is the art of releasing what no longer serves your evolution. It's not an escape from life, it's a deeper engagement with it without being controlled by it. 3. Confidence is quiet. Insecurity is loud. True confidence doesn't need to shout. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't seek validation from the crowd. In fact, real confidence often speaks the loudest through silence, through calm presence, steady action, and unshaken composure. It is quiet because it comes from within. Insecurity, on the other hand, tries hard to prove something. It constantly seeks approval, craves compliments, and reacts defensively to criticism. It needs the world to validate its worth because deep down, it's unsure of its value. That's why insecurity is loud. It hides behind bravado, exaggeration, overcompensation, and even arrogance. It masks fear with volume. When you act as if nothing affects you, you embody quiet confidence. You signal to the world that you are in control, not because everything is perfect, but because you are secure enough to move through imperfection with grace. You don't overreact. You don't overexplain. You simply live with intention, knowing your worth is not up for debate. Quiet confidence doesn't look the same on everyone, but its essence is universal. It's grounded, it's mature, it's resilient. You'll see it in the person who listens more than they speak, in the athlete who respects their opponent but never doubts their own preparation, in the leader who leads without needing to dominate. Quiet confidence comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you're capable of regardless of what others think or say. It also means being comfortable with being misunderstood. Confident people don't rush to correct every assumption or defend every decision. They understand that not everyone will get them, and that's okay. Their sense of self isn't built on being liked, approved, or praised. It's built on alignment with their values, consistent self-respect, and lived experience. In contrast, insecurity constantly reacts. It overexplains when no explanation is needed. It brags about small wins because it fears being overlooked. It takes everything personally because it lacks internal stability. It's the loud noise in the room that tries to fill a silence it can't sit with. One of the marks of confidence is the ability to walk into a room and not need to announce yourself. Not because you're trying to hide, but because you don't need the room to affirm your presence. You already belong, because you've decided you do. Confidence allows you to stand tall even when others try to bring you down. It gives you the strength to remain calm in conflict, to stay rooted when you're doubted, and to move forward when you're criticized. It allows you to smile when others expect you to break, and to remain silent when others expect you to retaliate. To act as if nothing affects you is not arrogance. It's the quiet assurance that whatever happens around you, you are still you. Not easily shaken, not easily provoked, not desperate to prove anything, because real confidence doesn't compete, it simply continues. 4. Respond, don't react in life. It's easy to react. Someone insults you and you snap back. A plan fails and you panic. You feel frustrated, so you lash out. But reaction is impulsive. It's raw, emotional, and often regrettable. It's the unfiltered expression of how you feel in the moment, without thought for consequences or clarity. Reaction is instinctual. Response, on the other hand, is intentional. It's thoughtful. It's composed. It is the space between the trigger and your action. It's not about pretending you don't care or bottling up your emotions. It's about choosing your energy, your words, and your behavior with awareness. When you act as if nothing affects you, you're not suppressing your emotions. You're controlling your response to them. You're taking a pause before you act. You're asking, is this worth my peace? Will this matter tomorrow? Am I responding from wisdom or ego? And in that moment of reflection, you shift the power back to yourself. Think of it this way. Reacting is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It intensifies the problem. But responding is like adding water. It cools things down, brings clarity, and preserves your strength. Whether you're dealing with conflict, criticism, stress, or surprise, your ability to respond rather than react shows your level of self-mastery. Why is this important? Because the world will test you. People will push your buttons, situations will arise unexpectedly, but the most powerful people are those who can remain calm, not because nothing is happening, but because they've trained themselves to stay centered. Responding means stepping back before stepping in. It means choosing not to argue with ignorance, not to fight every battle, not to let temporary emotions cause permanent damage. It's understanding that not everything deserves your energy, and not everyone deserves a reaction. In relationships, the difference between reacting and responding can make or break trust. A reactive person may say hurtful things in anger. A responsive person pauses, reflects, and speaks with care. In leadership, the reactive leader panics under pressure. The responsive leader reassures, strategizes, and acts with vision. In personal growth, the reactive mindset avoids responsibility and blames others. The responsive mindset asks, what can I learn from this? Responding over reacting is not weakness. It's emotional discipline. It's maturity. It's the realization that your peace is too precious to be handed over to every comment, situation, or impulse. It's knowing that silence can be stronger than shouting, that patience can be more powerful than pressure. The more you practice responding, the more unshakable you become. People begin to notice that they can't rattle you, that your emotions are not on public display, that your decisions come from clarity, not chaos, and that kind of energy, it's rare, it's respected, and it gives you a level of control most people only wish they had. 5. Your focus is your fortress in a world designed to distract you. Through social media, endless opinions, comparison, noise, and negativity, focus becomes a rare and powerful strength. It's more than just attention. It's your inner fortress. It's the space where your mind finds clarity, where your vision becomes sharp, and where your energy gathers with purpose. When you act as if nothing affects you, what you're really doing is protecting your focus. You're saying, I don't have time to waste my energy on things that don't build me. You're recognizing that every time you get pulled into petty drama, emotional chaos, or other people's opinions, you're surrendering your power. And power leaks when focus is lost. Your goals need your focus. Your dreams demand it. Distractions might feel urgent, but they rarely add value. They seduce your time, chip away at your discipline, and before you know it, you've spent hours or days consumed by something that doesn't move you even 1 inch forward. That's how people get stuck, not because they're incapable, but because they're constantly derailed. But when you treat your focus like a fortress, everything changes. You become intentional about what enters your mental space. You start guarding your time, your thoughts, and your energy like they are sacred, because they are. You don't engage in every argument. You don't chase meaningless validation. You don't scroll endlessly or absorb every bit of negativity thrown your way. You begin to move with a kind of quiet, grounded intensity. You start choosing your battles, saying no more often, and walking away from things that try to steal your peace. And here's the truth. Whatever you focus on grows. Focus on problems, and they get bigger. Focus on solutions, and progress begins. Focus on what you lack, and you feel empty. Focus on what you're building, and your mind begins to align with action. That's why focus is more than just attention. It's a form of self-respect. It's a declaration of what matters most to you. Many people fail not because they don't have potential, but because they lack the discipline to protect their focus. They get caught in loops of comparison, fear, overthinking, or self-doubt. But your ability to shut the door on distraction and lock in on what truly matters is a game changer. It's not always easy. There will always be something demanding your reaction. Someone may try to provoke you. A setback might tempt you to spiral, but if you keep your focus intact, you remain in control. The storm can rage outside, but inside your fortress, there's clarity, purpose, and direction. The strongest people don't avoid life's noise. They simply don't let it in. Because once your focus is disturbed, your actions become scattered, your vision becomes blurry, and your peace begins to slip away. But when your focus is sharp, you can cut through confusion, eliminate waste, and keep moving, even when everything around you tells you to stop. So, treat your focus like it's sacred, because it is the birthplace of your progress, your peace, and your personal power. 6. Protect your energy at all costs. Your energy is your life force. It fuels your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your future. But energy is not infinite. It is precious, and it can be drained quickly by the wrong people, the wrong thoughts, and the wrong environments. That's why one of the most important disciplines you can develop is the ability to protect your energy at all costs. When you act as if nothing affects you, what you're really doing is conserving your inner power. You're refusing to let every inconvenience, insult, or unexpected event deplete you. You're not avoiding life. You're simply being selective with your responses. Because not everything deserves one. There are people who feed you and people who drain you, conversations that inspire and those that exhaust, moments that build you and those that break your rhythm. If you don't learn to protect your energy, you'll find yourself constantly running on empty, burned out from carrying the emotional weight of things that don't even belong to you. Protecting your energy means creating boundaries, not walls, but intentional spaces where your peace is prioritized. It means learning how to say no without guilt, walk away without explanation, and disconnect from anything that threatens your well-being. It's understanding that peace is not passive, it's an active choice, and often a difficult one. You'll be tempted to argue, to defend yourself, to prove your point, to engage in battles that are loud but meaningless. But maturity is realizing that some things are not worth the drain. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every opinion matters. Not every invitation is an opportunity. You begin to understand that your silence is sometimes louder than your voice, and your peace more powerful than your pride. Protecting your energy also means managing your inner world, your thoughts, your self-talk, your beliefs. Negative thinking, overthinking, fear of judgment, and self-doubt are all internal thieves of energy. If your mind is constantly in a state of tension, trying to control outcomes, please others, or live up to unrealistic standards, your energy will slowly erode from within. This is why daily habits matter. What you consume, how you speak to yourself, how you care for your body, and how you begin and end your day all play a role in your energy. You can't always avoid stress, but you can strengthen your ability to stay steady within it. When your energy is protected, your clarity increases, your decisions improve, and your confidence deepens. And don't underestimate the power of environment. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge you in healthy ways, who uplift you, who respect your boundaries and your journey, that's not just comforting, it's essential. Because your energy is not just about what you do, but also who you're doing life around. So many people spend their lives exhausted, not because they're doing too much, but because they're spending too much time on things that don't align with their values, purpose, or peace. They're constantly trying to fix, impress, or rescue. But protecting your energy means understanding that you are not responsible for everyone's happiness, nor are you obligated to explain your calm. In fact, the more you protect your energy, the more magnetic you become. People sense stability, they feel your boundaries, they notice that you're not easily pulled into chaos. That's strength, that's wisdom, and that's what gives you the space to live a focused, purpose-driven life, untouched by the things that would drain a lesser version of you.